Hello, welcome. Amanda here with Crafting with Amanda. Glad that you are here. So today I am doing my May Craft IQ layout challenge, and I'm going to do it with the Hope and Kindness collection from Close to My Heart. I love the rich colors in this paper, and although it comes across really florally or, kind of girly, it absolutely has those rich colors that I think can be used for anything. The sticker sheet here, compassion, kindness, gentleness, patience, all of those wonderful words. And then if you haven't seen the coordinating cardstocks in this particular pack, they're not the solids of normal cardstocks. They have patterns to both sides of them. So just really versatile. And then I punch out all of the die cut sheets and put them in a stamp envelope, as you can see here. But I just wanted to show you how intricate these, new die cuts can get. I just love kind of the laser die cuts and just the crispness and the intricacy that we can get these days. And then as part of the set that I got, these lace doilies came with it, and then also this stamp set and thin cuts for this set here. So I got everything that you've seen in one kit for $76 for the US. So I went to my stash and I grabbed these 4 stamp sets because I figure I'll use them here. And with the layout today, our first step is a half and half design. We're supposed to tear something, add stamping, create a tag from pattern paper, dig out some brads, add purple, and create dimensions. So for me, for adding stamping, I decided to do kind of a simple random stamping. It's funny, as I'm editing this video and putting it together and I'm watching my random stamping, there's so many ways to add layers into the random stamping. And I think with everything going on in our world with moving and trying to close on a house, 2,500 miles away and make sure they have all the paperwork that we need, I think I was just happy to have one more page album ready before the movers come to pack it. But at the same time, I'm looking at this going, why didn't you add more background stamping? Why didn't you, I used to take the block, just the block without a stamp on it, and smush it into a lighter color ink pad, kind of like bamboo or toffee would work, or even a linen, depending upon what tones you're going for, and then stamp it directly onto the paper. So you would get these kind of imperfect squares from the block face that just kind of help tie things in and added some noise, as they call it, to the random stamping. And I'm adding my purple here in that open arrow, so I've met that challenge, and I'm just using the colors. I had to grab my ink pad, so I have grape, lilac, harbor, rosemary, toffee, and New England ivy. And each stamp that I changed gets its own color. So this sunburst is out of toffee. And I'm only doing half the page because with a half and half design, I knew I only needed about 6 inches of this paper. So then to make a tag out of pattern paper, this is one of the papers from Hope and Kindness, and I actually stamped this incorrectly. If you'll notice, the top of it, I didn't leave any room for cutting a new flag. So off camera, I restamped that, and you can see here the result. I trim one corner off, and then you just mirror image it onto the other corner, and then you're going to have the exact mirrored image to make your tag. And then I just use my Crocodile to punch a hole in it, and life is good. Because I wanted my tear to be definitely more than 6 inches and right along that edge, I'm just wetting a paintbrush and wetting the paper a little bit. And you'll see here that once you kind of let it sit just for a few seconds and you rip it, it just rips so nicely right down your paint line. So it's just kind of a way to control your rip, and it shows less white as well when you do that kind of thing. And then again, from the coordinating cardstock, I grabbed this white striped paper that's on craft, and then I'm going to glue those together. And I do it wrong, and I'm showing you here what not to do. So I knew that if you glue the top of one page and the top of the other page, and then you overlap them using the Versamat for your size, that you actually will get both edges firmly glued in place. But I ended up putting the glue on the wrong side because I wanted that white torn edge to show on the front of my layout. So now I'm going to try this again. So I'm doing now the back side of my random stamping piece, and the front side of the lined cardstock. And then off camera, I will grab a little piece of paper towel and wipe off that line of glue that I have. And it's on the back of the layout, so it's really not gonna matter or show up in things. So then these are photos from when we came out to California for the first time in 2018. And we went to the Griffith Observatory, which was really just a couple miles from the hotel that my husband was staying at for work. So the kids and I went up there one afternoon while husband was at work, and we of course had to take the iconic Hollywood studio or Hollywood sign photo. And then to bring out some of the colors that you see in the background of the photo and then also in the kids' shirts, I used that pattern paper, as you saw, to stamp my I Want to Make Memories All Over the World tag, and then also this real life viewfinder circle. And then these are leaves that are left over from, I send out augmentations or additions for people to use on their Craft with Heart card subscriptions. And these were left over from what I sent out to my gals. And they were just sitting on my desk and they were in the perfect color. So I just thought, you know what? Add dimension, shape these leaves. Here was another set of leaves again from that same session of setting out the card kit extras. So I'm just kind of dry fitting this on here, and then I realized I wanted to add more purple. The purple in the arrow of the random stamping wasn't enough, so I grabbed my grape ink pad, excuse me, and I inked up those different set of leaves. And then on everything else I didn't make you watch, I went ahead and used my blender brush and added toffee to the edges of all the tags and also on some of those leaves. I don't know if you can see that there. So those are bent up with the toffee on the edge, and it just really helps, I don't know, soften the layout a little bit. And normally I would put a pull tab in my tag circle, but instead I needed to add brads. So I did go through, you can see just in the upper right corner of the screen, there's a little cup that has the old bamboo brads in it. And that's what I used a purple tri-blend marker to color it to purple. And I will add that later just to be on the lookout for it. And then in the one stamp set, I think it's the Wonderful Scrapbook Workshop stamp set, it has this little mini notepad stamp. And on the Cricut, I just cut an oval rectangle or a rounded corner rectangle on the Cricut years ago and just had extras of those that I just keep right with the stamp set. And then from the die cut sheet that came with the Hope and Kindness, I pulled the outside from one of the banners that was in there. It was like a nested embellishment. And I'm just using it kind of as a frame just to bring a little more interest and kind of round out some of the cluster of embellishments on this layout. And I think I'm meeting all the requirements at this point except the brad, because we have a 50-50 design. I absolutely tore the paper of my random stamping, so that added stamping. I created a tag from pattern paper in the I Want to Make Memories All Over the World. Purple is not only in my leaves, but it's also in the random stamping. And as you'll see here in a minute, I colored the bamboo brad with the purple marker. And then create dimension. And I could have just done foam tape on this, but I didn't. I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. I thought about putting it under the one photo, but instead I decided I would just shape my leaves and add some of the dimension that way. So here I added the journaling on the page, and it just talks about how we took a day and went up to Griffith Observatory and how my husband had paid and he and our eldest went to one of the classes where that was looking at the stars. And when all was said and done, I decided this needed just a little bit of shimmer brush. So I grabbed my black shimmer brush and I'm just going from the upper left corner down to the lower right corner. And I, of course, needed to camouflage the photos there. I realized I hadn't actually glued in that one extra purple leaf And now, finally, this brad that I've been talking about, I'm going to go ahead and add there. And I learned this from watching several other YouTubers, and I will go back and actually do this as I create my albums and add washi tape or paper tape to protect the back of those brads so that they don't tear up any of the layouts. And I'm just making sure that I have met all of the criteria, the prompts. I absolutely love this Craft IQ idea, and sometimes the ideas are wild, but you can check out what everybody else did with these same prompts in my description under the video. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, you have that opportunity to do that and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of the videos I post. I normally do those Tuesdays, Sundays, and Fridays. Tuesdays are card days, so Fridays and Sundays are my layouts, and I hope you have a blessed day.